want to climb to the rooftops and I want to shout it to everyone. And I felt like my chest was going to explode. My heart was going to burst. She put her arms around me and she said, "I'm so sorry for what we did to you when you converted to Islam. I could have done it differently. I could have, been better." Can't tell you. Honoured and privileged to accept your invitation. Batool Toma was born Mary Teresa Geraghty in the heart of rural Ireland to a farming family. I'm one of 10 children, 6 girls and 4 boys, and I was born into a practicing Catholic Christian family. I was a very religiously aware young person, as were all my family, because my parents were quite Christian-oriented, Catholic actually. So we attended church and we, prayed at home together and so on and so forth. But like all families, as we grew up and as we became more boisterous and obstreperous, we refused to enter into religious activity and so on. But I kept going to Mass and kept going to religious ceremonies and so on. And then I was sent to boarding school when I was about 12 years old. And at boarding school, I began to question things and consider more about the theological aspects of Christianity and Catholicism. And then I spent the next 5 years just asking questions and being generally disruptive in the religious studies class.
What was the thing that made you question your beliefs?
I think ideally it was the person of Christ. And, obviously from a Catholic perspective, we believed in the Trinity and the fact that Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, was Son of God or God incarnate. And so that was just a step too far for me. I couldn't quite work it out in my head. I couldn't quite resolve it in my thoughts. And so, that was one very big stumbling block for me. Then that was the beginning of my journey.
What was about Islam that resonated with your heart the most?
The fact that the person of Christ was regarded as a prophet, Isa alayhi salam, that was the biggest step for me, because now I could understand him, I could learn about him, I could appreciate his mission, his journey, and I didn't have to, constantly argue with myself and cause this trauma within about trying to come to that understanding. So that was the main thing. And then, of course, that God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was separate from that. I could focus my whole spiritual being on love of God and learning about God and understanding God and the creation and his stewardship over us and his continuous blessings and rejuvenation of life after death.